Today, we will dive into part 2 of the story. The link to part 1 is located in the description. Komoko has defeated Oroba the Earth Dragon and emerges from the Great Oro Labyrinth, only to be attacked by archers. Using her immense strength, she obliterates the fortress and escapes as quickly as possible. Now free, she wanders around, but as she wants to avoid being attacked by humans, she decides that her next step is to transform into a Rakshan, a spider with a human torso. While traveling, she senses that Mother Spider is angry and wants her to return to the labyrinth. Mother Spider can usually compel her children to obey, but Komoko's heresy nullification skill protects her, and she refuses to return. 15 years later, at the royal palace, the king and his sons meet with Padamas, the chief of the elves, and his daughter Oka. The humans and demons are at war, and Julius has been killed. Shunsuk has two brothers, the serious blue-haired Celis, and the kind purple-haired Leston. Celis wants to send Shunsuk to the front lines, while Leston thinks he is too young to fight, even though he is the hero. The king and Padamas agree that they need to carefully consider their next move against the strong demon lord and her followers. Meanwhile, Natsun has kidnapped Kaneda and Sue. 15 years earlier, Komoko is attacked by monster spiders sent by her mother. Prepared to trap them, she ensnares the spiders in her web and shoots black magic bullets at them, but the strongest among them survive. Komoko flees and manages to set a massive web trap for her enemies. She teleports the strongest spider, a white Arcterytech, to the magma lake in the Great Oro Labyrinth, and after a fierce battle, pushes him into the lava and consumes him. She also devours the 3 remaining spiders in the same manner. Afterwards, she realizes there may be a connection between her and Mother Spider. Summoning her parallel selves, Komoko creates a gateway to the Mother Spider's mind and dispatches the trio to attack it. Upon infiltrating the Mother's consciousness, the 3 Komokos commence consuming it. While surveying the surroundings, Komoko spots a gang of bandits assaulting a coach. Recognizing an opportunity to gain experience points, she swiftly subdues them with her acute vision and potent sorcery. Observing a couple within the coach, she examines their infant and detects that it is, in fact, a vampire. Moreover, she also possesses a reincarnation named Sophia, formerly known as Shuko. Later, Komoko stumbles upon a congregation of elves plotting to abduct the child. Opting to defend the infant, she eliminates the elves rapidly but decides not to intervene further. 15 years in the future, Su summons Shunsu to the throne chamber. Upon his arrival, Su promptly assassinates the king by thrusting a hole through his forehead. Immediately thereafter, she screams, accusing Shunsu of perpetrating the act. Celis and his knights arrive with Natsum and apprehend Shunsuk. Since Celis desires to ascend the throne and Natsum seeks vengeance on Shunsuk and Oka, they form an alliance. Celis learned that the king intended to crown Shunsuk soon, thus avoiding war. As Celis was next in line for the throne, he desired to thwart the king and Shunsuk. Natsum also brainwashed Su, elucidating her actions. As Natsum boasts of his triumph, Shunsuk becomes incensed and strikes him. Abruptly, a silver-haired woman named Sophia intercedes and interrupts the altercation. As it turns out, she aided Natsum in regaining his strength. When Natsum prepares to finish off Shunsuk, Oka rushes in and rescues him. Hyris and Anna, Shunsuk's blonde elf attendant, join them as they flee. Soon, chaos ensues when Celis and Natsum's troops engage in a fierce battle against Leston's army. Shunsuk and his comrades are caught off guard by more insurgent soldiers, but Leston and his backup show up in time to rescue them. After finally escaping, Oka discloses that the followers of the Word are collaborating with Natsum and have proclaimed him the new hero. In a sudden turn of events, the rebel army encircles them, accompanied by the brainwashed Kaneda. In a confrontation with Kaneda, Shunsuk manages to revive her consciousness, but she is still not in control of her body. To avoid harming Shunsuk, Kaneda impales herself with her sword. Shunsuk rushes to her aid and uses his healing abilities to save her. Suddenly, Sophia appears and confesses that she killed Pugimus. After checking her stats, Shunsuk realizes that she, like him, is a reincarnation. Sophia's power to nullify magic allows her to quickly overpower Oka and seize her by the neck. But Mireille intervenes and transforms into a massive white dragon to rescue Shunsuk and his companions. 15 years earlier, Komoko's 3 parallel minds continue to nibble at the Mother Spider's mind, but they begin to wonder why she is not reacting. Suddenly, the Mother Spider creates a massive opening that leads outside of the labyrinth and traps the 3 Komokos in her mind, preventing them from contacting the primary Komoko. As she wanders around, distressed, Komoko senses the ground tremble and the mother spider appears. After checking the mother spider's stats, Komoko realizes that she is 5 times stronger than Araba. In a state of panic, Komoko runs for her life, but the mother spider pursues her relentlessly and attacks her. Just as the mother spider is about to strike her with one of her spells, Komoko teleports herself to one of her previous hideouts in the Auro Labyrinth. However, she is immediately surrounded by 5 Arcterytecs and a swarm of small ones. The 5 monsters savagely tear into her, but she barely manages to survive with 1 health point. Sprinting towards the central volcano of the labyrinth, a sinister 6-limbed marionette emerges and obstructs her path. The puppet initiates an assault with lightning-fast swordplay, while the Arcterytecs continue to close in from behind. Evading the puppet's attacks, Komoko unleashes a massive barrage of black magic bullets at the spiders, simultaneously utilizing her Jinx's Evil Eye ability to absorb her adversary's magic points. When this tactic proves to be insufficient, Komoko decides to seek out the weakest spider among them and eliminate it, hoping to acquire enough experience points to level up and restore her health. Suddenly, one of the puppet's strings ensnares her leg. The puppet then drags an Arcterytec on top of Komoko, intending to crush her to death. With no other options left, Komoko sacrifices an eye to cast the Annihilating Evil Eye spell and exterminate the spider atop her. After successfully defeating it, Komoko levels up and regains her strength. She then jumps onto another Arcterytec, bites it, and teleports to the center of the labyrinth just in time to evade the puppet's attack. Having leveled up sufficiently, Komoko evolves into a spider form known as Zanahiroa. In the future, 15 years from the present, Oda hides in secrecy and informs Shunsuk and the others that Natsum plans to assault the elf village soon. To thwart Natsum's scheme, Shunsuk and the others must traverse through the Great Auro Labyrinth, the world's most treacherous maze. Entrusting the task of stopping Natsum to Shunsuk, Lester departs for the royal palace to defend it. In the past, 15 years prior to the present time, Komoko awakens. As a result of her evolution, she obtains the skill of immortality and becomes elated with the prospect of never being able to die. A smartphone suddenly materializes. An administrator contacts Komoko to congratulate her for becoming the only Zanahiroa spider in the world. As a reward, Administrator D divulges why Komoko was reincarnated in this world. According to her explanation, the previous hero and demon lord were so potent that they endeavored to escape from this world. Without functioning properly in the other world, the system that governed the previous world backfired, causing a deadly explosion that took the lives of an entire Japanese student class. The one who proposed the system, Administrator D, reveals that she had to intervene and correct the mistakes of the previous hero and demon lord. She collected the souls of the deceased students and bestowed upon them skills to survive in this new world. Additionally, she granted them a unique skill to reincarnate into the most suitable body for their soul's frequency. Komoko receives praise from Administrator D for advancing quickly, while others remain inexperienced. Although Administrator D admits to being one of the reincarnated students, she refuses to disclose her true identity. She believes that the presence of the students was the reason why the hero and demon lord's magic affected the classroom and suggests they were sent to kill her. As Administrator D's voice fades away, she hopes Komoko will continue to amuse her. 15 years later, Shunsuke and his comrades keep Mary hidden and reach a village where they meet a labyrinth guide named Basket. Afterward, Oka and Kanana visit Mary and return with a girl with blonde wings. As it turns out, the girl is Mary, who has gained a skill called humanification, allowing her to transform into a human. Basket then takes everyone through an underwater passage towards the Great Aura Labyrinth, although they might encounter a water dragon. Despite the risks, they decide to use the passage to avoid the Imperial Guards, and during their swim, a massive water dragon emerges. Fortunately, Mary uses her flame breath to distract the dragon and allows everyone to enter the labyrinth. 15 years in the past, Komoko enjoys herself on the beach before deciding to create a webbing boat to go fishing. A colossal water dragon takes her bait, but she quickly defeats it. Remembering her unfinished business in the labyrinth, she teleports there to continue battling the puppet spider. She uses her magic to teleport seawater into the labyrinth, successfully drowning it. After defeating the puppet, she decides to continue fishing. Suddenly, her magical mind contacts her, and warns her of an even greater threat than the spider mother approaching. Komoko spots an extremely high-level creature named Ariel, an origin pterodactyl. After checking her stats, Komoko realizes that Ariel is the demon lord herself and starts to panic. Ariel swiftly uses one hand to obliterate Komoko into bits. 15 years later, Shunsuk and the others venture through the labyrinth, easily defeating its monsters. They follow Basketha's advice to take a break. Later, Shunsuk has a nightmare about a silver-haired woman with blue wings on her head who repeatedly tells him he is leveling up before suddenly crying out in pain. Basketh is worried because this is a sign that the powerful spider monster called the Nightmare of the Labyrinth might appear. Although people believe the nightmare is dead, Basketh thinks otherwise. It's said that the nightmare won't attack unless provoked, and that it sometimes even heals the wounded. Basketh wakes everyone up and continues leading them through the labyrinth. Soon after, a powerful purple earth dragon attacks them. Shunsuk and the others struggle to fight it as it's resistant to both physical and magic attacks. Mireille charges at the dragon and punches it, stunning it. It turns out that her skin and punches are as strong as the dragon's, even in human form. While Mireille distracts the dragon, the others weaken it with magic. In the end, Shunsuk finishes it off with a holy light beam. Shunsuk levels up to level 29 and everyone receives the title Dragon Slayer after defeating the dragon. As they leave, Spider's Basketh notices Nightmare's vestiges curiously observing them. Before they go, the vestiges ominously declare that the world will soon come to an end and that there's nothing anyone can do about it. Mireille transforms into a dragon and leads the rest of the group to the surface, finding the hole in the ceiling created by the spider mother 15 years ago. Komoko's head was afloat in the sea 15 years ago, but her immortality skill and automatic health regeneration kept her alive. She waited for her body to regenerate while fending off sea monsters. Fearful of Ariel's return and her abyss magic, which can destroy both body and soul, Komoko's parallel mind encountered Ariel in the Spider Queen's mind. When Komoko's body-brain attached to Ariel's mind, Ariel realized she had to kill Komoko completely to get rid of her. Later, Komoko leveled up and grew her body back entirely. She spotted the same coach she had saved before, still being pursued by assassins, and decided to follow it. The coach eventually reached a mansion in Cirilla, where John, Sophia's father, instructed his blue-haired assistant to investigate the spider monster that had saved them. In the future, 15 years from now, Shunsuk and his companions parted ways with Basketh, handing him the valuable parts of the earth dragon they had killed together. Uka, riding on Mireille's back, informed them that they had to go to Cirilla next. The people there worship a goddess with white wings and believe that erasing your skills is an offering to her, ensuring salvation. The two religions, however, despise each other, as the followers of the Word of God believe that raising their skill levels enables them to hear God's voice. Back in the past, Komoko observed a group of assassins breaking into Sophia's house and used her evil eye skill to kill them from afar. She had already saved Sophia once and didn't want to see her die so soon. She let one assassin go and used clairvoyance to track him. When he returned to his allies, she discovered they were all elves. It turned out that their leader was Potamus, who considered Dustin, the leader of the Word's followers, and Ariel, the demon lord, to be his enemies, and sought to eliminate them. John, the ruler of Caron County, comes to the realization that the spider monster known as the Labyrinth's Nightmare has once again saved his family from bandits, but he feels uneasy about it. He discovers that spiders are considered sacred by the followers of the goddess religion, who believe that the goddess herself had a spider servant. Upon hearing this, Komoko recalls Ariel's title as the ancient divine beast. While Komoko is relaxing in a tree, a woman approaches her and pleads for her to heal her son. Upon evaluating their condition, Komoko realizes that they are both impoverished and ill. Out of pity, she heals them, and they immediately recover. As a reward, the woman gives Komoko an apple, which satisfies her. Soon afterward, a long queue of people appears, seeking Komoko's help and believing that she is the divine beast. With nothing else to do, she starts helping them and becomes renowned in the town. In the future, Shunsuke and his companions locate the teleportation circle that serves as the entrance to the elven village. However, upon arrival, they are surrounded by elven guards who inform them that humans are not permitted in the village. Suddenly, Patamas arrives and grants them permission to enter. Although Shansuke and the others are shocked that he is alive, he refuses to reveal how. The following day, Oka takes everyone to the settlement where she relocated the other reincarnated students she had discovered. The entire class reunites for the first time in a long time, but Oka does not join them for some reason. The students residing in the village reveal that they have been abducted and are being held captive by Oka. They do not trust her or the elves at all. In the future, a neighboring kingdom named Oats requests that John surrender the divine beast to them, citing their right to her power. Since Komoko destroyed one of their forts when she emerged from the labyrinth, they want to penalize her. While checking up on the mother spider, Komoko fails to notice that her stats have dropped significantly due to her parallel minds attacking her. Komoko instantly teleports herself to the labyrinth but becomes ensnared in a web, and the mother decapitates her. While the mother tries to consume her, Komoko's parallel mind returns, granting her a tremendous power surge. After consuming a substantial portion of the mother's mind, they also absorb a corresponding amount of her power. Ascending to level 24, Komoko unleashes an incredibly potent barrage of dark magic bullets, weakening the mother. She then unleashes a beam from her mouth, completely obliterating the mother. After the battle, the parallel minds inform Komoko that her body and mind are gone because they have merged with Ariel. In that moment, Komoko realizes that the demon lord is rapidly approaching her and flees back to Karen County, where her followers are. However, diplomats from the Kingdom of Oats arrive and inform her that they intend to take her away. Upon hearing this, Komoko takes some of her offerings and walks away, leaving their mustached representative incensed. Meanwhile, John fears that Komoko may become the catalyst for a war between Cirilla and the Oats Kingdom. The Oats diplomats are also staying at his mansion. Komoko watches from afar, wanting to depart but not wanting to abandon Sophia and risk assassination. At that time, the same armored man whom Komoko encountered in the labyrinth before teleports to her, clarifying that he means her no harm. He introduces himself as an administrator named Gully Distides, and Komoko dubs him Gully because she cannot recall his full name. Huli urges Komoko to refrain from interacting with humans and to continue living her life quietly and in secret. Komoko, however, refuses and informs Gully that she will do everything in her power to prevent the world's destruction. Gully accepts her response and departs, but as soon as he leaves, someone throws knives at Komoko. She deflects them and slays the assailants with her evil eye. Noting that one of the Oats diplomats is present, she becomes irritated. Using her clairvoyance, she detects their mustached leader and eliminates him remotely with her evil eye before going to sleep. Upon discovering the diplomat's lifeless body, John realizes the divine beast was responsible for his demise. Shortly after, John receives news that the Kingdom of Oats has declared war on Cirilla, having formed an alliance with the Rengzin Empire and the Holy Kingdom of the Laos, and amassed a massive army. Meanwhile, Komoko observes the situation and realizes her actions may have triggered the war. Assuming responsibility, she decides to aid Cirilla. Fast forward to 15 years in the future, Oka lies in her bed alone. After being reborn, she gains the unique skills student roster, which enables her to view a list of reincarnated students, along with their past, present, and future information. Upon realizing that most of her students are unlikely to live past the age of 20, she becomes distraught. When she was an infant, she utilized her telepathy skill to communicate with Patamas, revealing her past life and her new abilities, and he agrees to assist her in safeguarding her pupils. The two of them kidnap and bribe the students, taking them to the safety of the elf village to alter their destinies. However, since her student roster skill prohibits her from sharing any of the information with the students, she is unable to explain her actions, causing them to despise her. The following day, Shunsu, Kineda, Muriai, Hirenz, and Anna, accompanied by two other reincarnated students named Asaka and Kunihiko, visit the potent barrier protecting the elf village. Kineda suspects that Natsuin might have a spy within the village who could aid him in gaining entry, prompting her to propose disabling the teleportation circle. Nonetheless, the elves are arrogant and refuse to listen to her, insisting that humans pose no threat to them. As they make their way back to their quarters, Shansuk and his companions encounter Uka, who discloses to Herenz and Anna that they are reincarnated individuals with exceptional powers. Uka shares an old elf legend that foretells the gods taking away the lives and abilities of people summoned from another world, called administrators, whom the elves consider their foes. They don't want any of the reincarnated students to perish because their powers will return to the administrators. Moreover, Uka reveals that Natsuin has been manipulated by the administrators all along, and she deduced that Sophia, who is allied with the administrators, is actually Shuko. This information surprises everyone. Upon hearing this, Herenz and Anna vow to safeguard the students. Besides Sophia and Natsuin, Shunsuk anticipates battling Uka since she is part of the followers of the word. There is a likelihood that two other students, Kusama and Kyuya, who have not been located, may be their adversaries. Later on, as they prepare for battle, the elves jeer at them, convinced that their barrier is impregnable. Suddenly, Shunsuk and the others hear a commotion. It turns out that a ninja named Kusama infiltrated the elf village using the teleportation circle. Kusama admits that he is their foe and uses his ninja skills to avoid their attacks. Just before he vanishes outside the village, he tosses a sword in the air. The sword detonates and destroys the tree where the teleportation circle was. Outside, the same white-haired girl who killed Julius casts a spell that causes the entire barrier to glow with a purple light. When Natsuin announces that the barrier has fallen, Yuka, Sophia, and their troops advance and begin battling the elves. In the midst of the battle, Natsuin locates Uka and launches an attack on her using a magical sword, dispelling the wind magic she had been casting to protect herself. Natsuin discloses that he has been using a skill named Lust to control individuals, and he has also obtained a skill called Greed, which allows him to augment his power by slaying his enemies. Left to fend for herself against Natsuin and his accomplices, Uka does her best to defend herself, but her assaults prove futile against Natsuin. Nonetheless, she manages to fire an arrow at his feet and cast a barrier spell through it, ensnaring him. Trapped within the barrier and struggling to breathe, Natsuin begins to choke, but Sophia appears and rescues him by blowing Uka away. As Uka lies on the ground, she ponders whether she was a competent teacher and awaits her death. But at the last moment, Shunsuk intervenes and blocks Natsuin's sword. 15 years prior, Komoko finds herself embroiled in the war between the Oats Alliance and Sariella. She confronts the Oats soldiers and proves to be so formidable that she rapidly and brutally vanquishes most of the army. Within the vast Aura labyrinth, Komoko's mind and soul have been consumed by Ariel's body and brain, causing her personality to gradually resemble Komoko's. Upon teleporting to her location, Gully immediately recognizes that her soul has been merging with Komoko's. Consequently, Ariel no longer desires to kill Komoko, but still intends to punish her. Gully decides to assist her and transports her to where Komoko is. Ariel raises a barrier that prevents her from casting advanced magic, and she attacks Komoko, who frantically evades her strikes, unable to retaliate. Realizing that she can still employ basic magic, Komoko resorts to bombarding Ariel with simple light magic, which causes damage, but Ariel's health regenerates so rapidly that Komoko's attacks are insignificant. Additionally, Ariel cannot run out of magic points because she possesses the title of Ruler of Gluttony, which enables her to consume anything and replenish her magic points. Suddenly, a small boy with blue hair appears and challenges them both. After assessing him, Komoko discovers that he is the current hero, and that his title grants him the power to defeat the Demon Lord, which makes Ariel uneasy. Eventually, a massive fireball emerges in the sky and catches the hero's attention. At that precise moment, Ariel casts her Abu's magic on Komoko. After 15 years, Natsu confronts Shunsuk in a heated battle. After checking Natsu's stats, Mirai notes that they aren't impressive, but he has a plethora of skills. It transpires that the Demon Lord's army is trailing the Empire's army into the elf village. But Potamus is already aware of this and doesn't concern himself with the fate of the reincarnated students, sending his whole army to fight. During the intense fight between Shunsuk and Natsu, Kaneda realizes that Shunsuk is significantly stronger. Furthermore, Shunsuk possesses the dragon power skill from vanquishing the dragon in the labyrinth, rendering all magic weaker against him. Natsu becomes frustrated when neither his swordsmanship nor his magic can harm Shunsuk, and soon he becomes exhausted and unable to continue the fight. Natsu claims that the world was supposed to be his, but Shunsuk disagrees, stating that the world belongs to everyone. Suddenly, Sophia, along with her attendant, the vampire Merizophis, appears before them. Kimikiko and Asaka recognize Merizophis as one of the commanders in the demon army, and it turns out Sophia is also a commander. Natsu realizes he has been deceived, but before he can lash out at Sophia, Merizophis knocks him unconscious. Shunsuk engages in combat with Sophia, but her magic nullification is stronger than Shunsuk's, and she easily blocks his attacks. Witnessing how formidable Sophia is, Shunsuk's group launches a joint attack, but their efforts are futile against her. Despite Shunsuk's determination, Sophia effortlessly deflects all his attacks. One of Shunsuk's former classmates and friends suddenly arrives and introduces himself as a commander in the demon army. He claims that the elves are a threat to the world and accuses them of deceiving Shunsuk. The elves attempt to take Shunsuk with them to defeat the demon lord, but Kyuya and Sophia attack them, summoning the Gloria units to fight. In the past, Ariel's abyss magic devastates Komoko, but she is reborn from an egg in the labyrinth. She has transplanted one of her parallel minds into the egg, allowing her to resurrect even when her soul is destroyed. She evolves into Araction, becoming a human-looking girl with white hair after hearing Administrator D's voice. In the future, Kyuya and Sophia easily deflect the Gloria unit's attacks and massacre the elves. Kyuya kills Anna, but Shunsuk's taboo skill reaches level 10, revealing the truth about the world to him. Natsum attacks Sophia but is nearly killed, prompting Wakaba, who everyone thought was dead, to intervene and stop Sophia. In the past, Komoko also evolves into Araction. A spider with the upper body of a human female emerges. Simultaneously, all of the other eggs she had laid hatch, and she feeds them before departing. Utilizing her clairvoyant ability, she sees that Karen County is ablaze and elves are entering the estate where Sophia resides. Inside the estate, Jack and his wife refuse to leave Karen County. John dispatches his attendant, who is actually Merizophis, to escort Sophia and safeguard her. Once Merizophis departs, he hears the sound of elves storming the estate and killing Sophia's parents. They pursue him and shoot him repeatedly with arrows, but he refuses to succumb. Since Merizophis doesn't perish, Sophia bites him and transforms him into a vampire. Recovering from his injuries, Merizophis violently slaughters the elves. Suddenly, Potamus appears and realizes Sophia could pose a danger to him in the future, so he desires to eliminate her. Nonetheless, Merizophis vows to defend her and won't let Potamus approach her. At that moment, Komoko arrives and punches Potamus, sending him flying. Using her latest ability, Warping Evil Eye, she warps space and tears apart the other elves. Potamus stands up, surprising her since her punch was tremendously powerful. She becomes even more astonished when she cannot read his stats. When she attempts to cast a teleportation spell, Potamus somehow nullifies her skills and magic. Potamus introduces himself and declares Komoko to be a threat, then immediately assaults her. Komoko realizes his ability decreases her stats, but her active skills and stat boosts still function. She struggles against Potamus but manages to tear his skin, exposing that he is a robot underneath. Komoko recalls that this type of technology brought the world to the brink of destruction and understands she must defeat him for the greater good. Potamus transforms his arm into a laser gun and begins firing at Komoko, managing to decapitate her. However, Komoko still possesses her arachnid head, which enables her to keep battling. She discerns that she can utilize her abilities within Potamus' body and proceeds to break his arm, causing him to lose his laser gun. Suddenly, Ariel descends from the ceiling, adopting Komoko's flamboyant style, and confronts Potamus. When he refuses to disclose his purpose, she decapitates him. Ariel approaches Komoko and offers a proposal of peace. Since their souls have merged, Ariel no longer has the urge to kill Komoko and suggests they join forces. Komoko joyfully accepts the proposition. Meanwhile, in a facility filled with robotic bodies, Potamus comes to consciousness as one of them and vows to remember Komoko. As they travel together, Ariel invites Komoko, Merizophis, and Sophia to aid her in defeating Potamus. Realizing that they cannot save the world without defeating Potamus, Komoko agrees to join Ariel's cause. Merizophis also agrees to accompany Ariel and Sophia to the demon realm, where they will be safe. Ariel announces that they will become the heroes who will rescue the world and leads them in the direction of demon territory. For part 3, comment and subscribe. Thanks for watching.